buy Canelo versus Golovkin at $16.95. Press box office on your Sky remote or visit BoxNation.com.
Joining us to look ahead to Saturday's show at the Copper Box, and also as well, I guess, to indirectly look ahead to a terrific fight as well in Las Vegas on Saturday night overnight. The show that we're talking about here, Billy Joe's world title defence, will be broadcast live on BT, and then on BoxNation overnight we're going to be showing you as well the Golovkin against Canelo fight, which of course has a direct bearing on these two guys, because potentially the winner of this will go on and fight the winner of that, and we might at last have a unified world title. But this is going to be a very good fight in itself, promoter of which is Frank Warren, sitting alongside me. And Frank, after so many frustrations over the last couple of years, one way or another, great to see Billy Joe back in shape, and great to see him involved in a world title fight.
It certainly is. Bill's had some, if it weren't for bad luck, he wouldn't have had any at all, but he's managed to keep the faith. He's stayed strong. He's now got a new trainer in Dominic, who I think's done a fantastic job with him. And you only got to look at him. He's in the best shape I've ever seen him in since he's turned professional. And I know he's got the bit between his teeth. I know that I don't mean it's being disrespectful, but the penny's dropped. He knows he's got to look good in this fight. He knows he's got to come through this fight. He knows that if he wins this fight, he will get the winner of the one that takes place later in the evening, which will be on BoxNation, the Golovkin and Alvarez fight. So it's all there to go. It's all up to him. You know, we've given him the platform. He's fighting his mandatory challenger. Willie's, I know, he's not coming, as I say, to make up the numbers. And I'm sure he'll have something to say during the press conference regarding where it goes. I'm delighted to be working with my old friend, Art Palulo, Banner Promotions. It's always good to work with Artie, and he looks after Willie's interests, so we're going to have a bit of fun as well whilst he's over here, I hope.
Before we get into talking...
No prostitutes.
Before we get into talking about that sort of thing in more detail in a moment or two, just say a few words, Frank, about where you think this weekend's boxing is compared with what we saw a couple of weeks ago with what many people sort of derided as a circus. You know, I mean, this weekend's all about boxing, and I think boxing fans know that this is genuinely the real thing.
I think that's absolutely right. You know, if you look at the fight, if you look at the event, as I call it, you know, Mayweather and McGregor was an event. You know, McGregor, you can't take nothing away from him. He's got a big heart. He come to fight, but let's be real here. I don't think he'd win an area title on what I see in that ring, and it's not being disrespectful for him. He's not a boxer, and it captured the public's imagination. And funny enough, I don't think within boxing maybe we've derided it, but outside of boxing, the general public, I think it seems to have been well received. It got attention to the sport. But let's get real here. Saturday night, Golovkin and Alvarez is a mouth-watering fight. For me as a fan, I think back over this decade, I can't think of a better fight that on paper, and I'm sure will translate on the night into being the fight.
Throwback, isn't it?
It's a throwback fight. All those great fights, you know, Leonard Hagler's, the Duran fights, Tommy Hearns, it's one of those. And it will be special. And what I'm hoping to be even more special for me, and more importantly for Bill, is that Bill comes through and gets the winner. Because he deserves to be there with them. He's going to show everybody what he's got on Saturday. As I say, I've never seen him so fit. He's never been beat in England. I think it's since the age of, was it 15 years?
Yeah, never been beat.
Never beat in England or Britain, I should say, for 15 years. He's in super condition. He knows what he's got to do. He knows how important this is to him, his future, to his family. This is what it's all about. He's that much away. And this guy is standing to my left, is standing in front of him.
Well, we'll talk a bit more about that fight and to the two guys in a minute, but on the undercard, As well, we've got Daniel Dubois, who's going to be fighting AJ Carter, which is the vacant Southern Area heavyweight title. And the fellow away to our right, back in the copper box once again, Anthony Yard. And you're excited about him, Frank?
I am. Well, that's his home, isn't it? You know, he's made it his own place, and he's got a substitute opponent in Norbert Nemespaty, if I pronounce that correctly.
It's near enough.
Yeah, something like that. You know, it's another step up for him. He's fighting for the Intercontinental title. He's got a top 10 ranking in the WBO, so it's important that he does what he does good, which is to look the business, do the business, and move him up the rankings. You know, he's a fantastic young talent. His trainer Tunde's done a fabulous job with him, and his manager has done a fabulous job with him. And we just want to see him go from strength to strength. So he's got to go out there, and I'm sure, as always, he will go out there to show everybody what he's about.
Anthony, you're keeping busy, which I know, having spoken to you before, you regard that as very important, don't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's good to stay active, and yeah, I'm young in my career, so it's about staying active and getting experience.
How happy are you with the way things are going so far? I mean, you keep bowling people over, but how close do you now feel you are to where you really want to be?
I'm very happy, and I think, as you said, the way I'm dealing with my opponents, that's what's making people talk, and that's what's causing, you know, suspense in the sport. So for myself, so you know, I've got to keep doing what I'm doing.
What do you know about the fellow you're fighting? He's been in with Callum Smith and one or two other names.
I don't look too much into my opponents. I know we had a different guy, undefeated guy, which obviously would have been a different experience for me fighting someone undefeated. But he pulled out for whatever reasons. A guy named Ryan Ford from Canada. But now we got Mr. Patty. Nemespaty. I call him
Norbert Nemespaty from Hungary.
I've been calling him Chicken Patty. Everyone knows I like food, so yeah, I've got to eat. I've got to eat my meal on Saturday.
You're starting to get a following, a real following down this part of the world, aren't you? And when you get into the copper box, they're making themselves known.
I literally just got to keep it that way. As you said, he fought, I think it was Callum Smith.
Yep.
Callum Smith's 20th fight. Took him 6 rounds. I'm fighting him on my 12th. Not comparing myself to anybody, that's not what I do, but again, I'm trying to gain the experience. He's meant to be tough. We'll see how tough he is on Saturday.
Well, we wish you well, and not be too long before he's being talked about in world title terms, is it, Frank?
No, I think, you know, next year we'll be looking at that stage. At the moment, you know, as you call it, the team's all been working well, been moving forward in the right direction and make the right moves at the right time. But he's a phenomenal talent. He's a phenomenal puncher, and I think there's a lot more to him than just being a big puncher.
I'm not going to ask you about these two because I don't want you to upset them at this stage. But Canelo or Golovkin?
Golovkin. Oh, sorry, then.
For boxing IQ, I'll go with Canelo. Depends what Golovkin shows up. If he looks flat, how he did against
Jacobs,
I think he's a beaten man. But again, if he shows up how he fought
Calix.
What's the guy's name? No, not Kilbrook.
Lemieux.
Yeah. If he shows up how he fought Lemieux, you know, it can be a very, very interesting fight. But I'll go with Canelo.
And you go Golovkin? Yeah. We will see. It's the talking point. Anyway, the talking point so far as today is concerned is very much the world title fight that we're going to be seeing at the Copper Box on Saturday night. Billy Joe defending his WBO middleweight title against Willie Monroe. The two guys are here. They've had a bit of interesting banter already, but before we hear from the two guys themselves, start with Dominic about how well this guy's knuckled down and got himself into shape. You know, you look at him and he looks great. He looks a different man to the one who fought up in Scotland. He's been with you for what, 14 weeks, and he's clearly in great shape. But how have you enjoyed working with him?
I know he's a great laugh, Billy. You know, a lot of people said to me, "He's going to be a nightmare, that kid, when it comes to you. You're not going to be able to control him." But to be honest, he controls himself. He just needs to be focused, put in the right direction, basically wind him up, tell him what he's got to do, and he does it. And when he's finished, he's just got no energy left to cause any problems. So, you know, he's knuckled down. He's done 14 weeks in camp to the letter T. he's trained hard, and you know, the way he trained before, it wasn't wrong, it just wasn't right for him. And I think, you know, Monroe's team probably looked at me in the December fight and thought this is going to be easy, but you know, Billie Joe Saunders is a different kid. He's fit, he's strong, he's on weight, and he's not going to be the kid who turned up to fight Eubanks or his last fight, or even Andy Lee. He's in fantastic shape, he's on the weight, you know, he's done everything 100% right. And I think, you know, on Saturday night, it's going to be a very, very tough fight for Willie Monroe Jr. I'm predicting maybe a late stoppage for Billy, or, you know, a wide points, and that's how good it's going to be.
And I mean, what's the difference? Obviously, you've taken a new nutritionist on board, so he's, you know, I guess he's been eating right. Has it been sort of a monastic existence up in Wincobank?
No, we've got Greg Marriott, who, you know, he does the diets for Terry Flanagan, world champion Terry Flanagan, Kell Brook. You know, we're used to these guys who are coming in heavy into camp. You know, a great example is Kell Brook. You know, he blows up, but he gets in fantastic shape. But you can't get in that kind of fantastic shape. You can eat all the food you want. If you haven't got the commitment to train and train hard, there's just no quitting Billie Joe Saunders. You know, when he's doing the rounds in the ring and when he's doing the runs, you know, he just keeps going and going and going until you tell him to stop. So you've got to have that, and not many fighters can do that. You know, and not many fighters can stick to the diet either, but it's almost like we've been feeding him under the prison door. We've locked him away in a house, he gets 4 meals a day, he's still eating 4 meals a day. You know, usually at this point, for 2 weeks before a weigh-in, he's starving himself, he's drying himself out, he's killing himself before he gets in the ring, and then he's doing 12 rounds. You know, this time, he's been fed properly, he's been watered properly, you know, and he's going to come in peak condition, and on the night, he should do 12 rounds on his head easily.
And he's been living with Kid Galahad here as well.
He's been living with Barry, but he's in an environment in that gym where you've got everybody, you know, after fights, Kid Galahad, after his last fight, was straight back in the gym, and Billy came in and said, "What's he doing?" I said, "He's training." Well, he hasn't got a fight yet, but that's how we do it in Sheffield. Everybody trains, we don't have weeks off. You know, boxing's a full-time job. It's not have a fight, train for a fight, have a camp and then finish. You know, you come back in a couple of days after you start back again. You've got maybe 10 or 12 years as a boxing pro, and you've got to capitalise on that. And over the years, the likes of Johnny Nelson, you know, even Ryan Rose Jr., which are all these guys, have all had long careers, you know, without any damage, because they've done it right. And hopefully this is going to be the start of big things for Billie Joe Saunders. It's the first step on the ladder. He's 28 now, there's some massive fights in front of him, and he hasn't waited till that big fight's come, the Golovkin or the Canelo. He's taken a step before that to see what it's all about. We've had 12-14 weeks, you know, to get him into shape. His next fight, all being well, it comes through this in style. They've been in camp probably for 20 weeks doing a lot of stuff. You know, we haven't publicised this, but we've had him up at Sheffield Hallam University doing tests on him. We've had him sleeping in an oxygen tent. We've had all these kind of things done behind the scenes, what nobody's seen. I think, you know, the fighter that Willie Monroe Jr. is expecting to get in the ring on a Saturday night is not going to be the fighter he's going to get. He's going to get a new and improved version of Billie Joe Saunders. We all know Billy can fight. You know, he's a traveller, that's what they do. They fight for fun, they fight for free. So on Saturday night, he's actually getting paid. He's getting paid well, and he's going to put on a show.
Just before we hear from Artie and Willie and Billy himself, you know, you mentioned a couple of the big names who've come through your Wincobank gym with yourself and with your brother and with your dad Brendan. You know, I mean, there's been some remarkable talent come through that Sheffield gym. You know, think back to Naz and to Herol and you know, other terrific fighters who've come through. You've seen all those at close hand. Where does Billy's talent actually as a boxer have him standing alongside some of those great names?
Well, I remember the day when Frank phoned me up and I got a call from Frank, and it was a missed call. I thought, what's Frank want? He doesn't want some money off me or something, or some kind of problem. And I phoned him back and he just said to me, you know, I've got a fighter for you to train. And when he said Billie Joe Saunders, you know, I was thinking fantastic, because of all the fighters that are out there, that's the kind of guy who can fight. He can defend, he can box. And he reminds me of a very good young Ryan Rhodes, but a lot more experience. When Ryan Rhodes was coming through years back, you know, he was flashy, he was southpaw, he got the moves, he could fight forwards and backwards. And Billy reminded, you know, a lot of him. So there's fighters in that gym who've made the mark as a champion. You know, Nazim Hamid, Junior Witter, Kell Brook. They've all got one thing in common. I keep talking about it. It's the X factor that nobody can quite put the finger on. And Billy's got that. You know, they go into the ring, no matter how prepared or unprepared they are, with the will to win. And they might only go in at 50%, but they always find a way to win. But unfortunately, it always comes to a point when the luck runs out. And Billy's managed to nip that in the bud before he's got to that point. Like I say, he's 28, he's probably got another 4 or 5 years to make the big fights. and there's some big fights out there for him, and he's making the move now to correct all his mistakes of the past, and so far he's done everything 100% right.
Well, that's from Dominic Ingle, who of course has been working directly with Billy and got him into the sort of shape that you can see, which is impressive. Artie has been alongside Willie now for some time as well, and watching him getting ready for this one. He had his opportunity a couple of years ago against Gennady Golovkin, didn't work out. Those of you who don't know, on that occasion Willie was down a couple of times in the second round, stopped in the sixth, but he did get to Golovkin as well in that period. It wasn't all one-way traffic by any means. He's the mandatory challenger, and Artie, tell us a bit about this fella and what sort of mindset he's got as he approaches this.
First, I want to say I'm very happy to be here. Been friends with Frank a long time. We've been doing business together for 30 years, since Francis and George were kids, 8, 9 years old. So I've always had a good relationship with Frank and his family, and I've always been treated very well in England. We love it here. I have a tournament that is called BoxNation that I've owned. And many years ago, I started the tournament with Frank and I had some business together with Acelino Freitas, Popo Freitas. Through that tournament, Willie was a free agent, and I found Willie, and he entered the tournament. It's a single elimination tournament, and the winners of the tournament went on to fight for world titles. Willie went through everybody in the tournament, and knocks out the guy that was supposed to beat him in the finals. So at the end of the day, he wins a couple other fights. We get a call from Tom Loeffler for the fight with Golovkin. And Willie didn't win that fight, but he hurt Golovkin. He hurt him bad enough where Golovkin didn't show up for the party where he was paid. He gets a percentage to show up for the party at the stadium, and he got fined for not showing up because he didn't want anybody to see his eyes. At the end of the day, Willie Monroe is one of the finer boxers in the business, just like that young fellow over there. He's a nice, good kid, good boxer. I thought they were going to fight yesterday in the gym. That's why I stepped back. I'm 62 years old. You guys hit me accidentally, you murder me. So they're at the gym. I told them, I said, maybe you ought to wait till you get paid before you guys start going at each other in the gym.
My granddad's coming for you tomorrow.
Your granddad can beat me. I haven't hit anything but a scotch bottle in years. I can't hurt anybody.
Artie, tell us a bit about Willie as a guy.
Willie is a very good person. He just had another baby. Had a baby girl a couple of days ago. He's a family man. He's a religious guy. He's very loyal. And it's a fight that Billy Joe Saunders and Willie are in for a hell of a fight. It's going to be a heck of a fight. And on Saturday night, I don't know what's going to happen because I never make predictions. I've been doing this, I'm 62, 30 years. But on Saturday night, all the titles are on the line. And Frank's 100% right. The winner of this fight and the winner of the fight in England, and this is the real fight, in the United States, they're going to meet. Whether it's Willie meeting Golovkin a second time, or Canelo for the first time, or Saunders, it's what it's all about. This is what, 2 weeks ago was a show, like Frank said, great show. Barnum and Bailey kind of show. But this is boxing right here. Tonight's, Saturday night's fight here, and the one in the T-Mobile Center in Las Vegas. So I've never predicted, I never said anything about predicting with fights. All I can tell you is that the guy sitting to my right, like I know him, he thinks he can win. And that's what boxing's about. And 80% of everything in sports is mental. He thinks he's going to win. He knows he's going to win, like Billy Joe Saunders does. So it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a great show, and it's going to be good for the fans. And if it's good for the fans, it's good for boxing. So I'm very happy to be here. And I can just tell you that I know Willie Monroe knows that this is something, he's got a second shot at the world title. And I know he knows what to do in the ring. It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a great opportunity for both guys. And I want to say thank you again.
Thanks a lot, Al. Let's Willie, and you've been here now for, what, a week or so? Jet lag completely out of your bones, and you're absolutely ready, yeah? What's your thoughts about the fight? Why, you've heard Artie say, you really believe this is your fight. Why do you have that confidence?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
So you what?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
So, oh, right.
You won't
Okay.
get fined
Yeah.
at the press conference?
Yeah.
Well, going through your obligations.
John, maybe you shouldn't have interrupted him when you were playing video games and he was deep into it and you've interrupted him at a vital point. I think he's playing Candy Crush Saga or something like that, or liking Billy's Instagram photos. He's doing something. He's not interested today, I don't think.
Well, just tell us a bit about yourself anyway. Just please be interested just for a few minutes and tell us what it would mean to you to win this fight here and get the WBO title.
I just want to say thanks for the opportunity. You know, there's been so many guys that we've been trying to get in the ring, and they backed out. So I'm just glad for the opportunity. That's really all I have to say.
There's been a few words. He's clearly been maybe trying to wind you up a little bit. So there was the face-to-face confrontation at the public show yesterday. How much has he riled you? Has he riled you?
It's actually a confidence booster. You know what I mean? The classic defense against fear is noise. You know what I mean? I don't need to make noise. You know, everything is against me. I mean, I'm over here with 6 people. He had a whole country. So anybody, if I had a whole country and I only had a man that I was getting ready to fight and he only came to my country with 6 people and I felt I really had to rile him up, that means I'm scared of something. I had a whole country. I've answered to everything.
I didn't have the whole country yesterday when I walked you on my own though, did I? In there by myself. No whole country of me, just me, you and your
Well,
team.
you took 6 on him, yeah.
Took 6 on, yeah. I take 6 on, I take 10 on today, and I
Yeah,
take
still
100
believe
on.
that.
I take
God bless his.
100
I really don't have anything else to
What
say.
was that? It was even
I'm-
Ninja Master.
Billy, just give us a second. Tell us about when you fought Golovkin, and then in that 6th round, he puts you down,
Yeah.
and you said to the referee, I think you said something like that's enough, or I'm through, or whatever.
I'm done, he said.
I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, I like to take myself as a smart individual, you know what I mean? A lot of these guys, you know, they want to put on this purple badge and, oh, I got a heart, I'm going to keep fighting. And then 20 years after their career, they have no money and they can't talk. You know what I mean? I have beautiful kids, I have a stunning wife, beautiful. I want to be able to look at my wife and say, babe, you're still as beautiful as you were 30 years ago.
I don't know
wanna
what
be
you
able to
say
look
to
at
you when
my-
you go home then,
I
because your
don't
face is going to be
I don't
punched
want my
up.
kids to come look at me and say, damn, daddy doesn't see me, daddy doesn't understand, I can't understand nothing daddy's saying, because I want to be proud. And I think it takes a real, you know, all of us fighters have heart. You know, if I was a real quitter, as people like to call me, I would have quit after the Darnell Boone fight. After the Darnell Boone fight, the whole team I was with did away with.
That was the first fight you lost, which
Straight,
went
I
down
lost
split decision.
Split decision. My whole team did away with me. Me and that man right there, TJ, we went and took a garage and turned it into a gym with a heavy bag and a double M bag. No ring, no sparring, no nothing. And went on a 5-fight winning streak. When this man called us for BoxNation, I was the first man to sign up. I didn't know who the other 7 guys were. They could have. It was guys saying, "Oh, I don't want to sign up. I'm gonna wait till I see who's in the tournament, then I'll sign up because I want to see who I can size up and beat." I was the first person to sign up. No way out. Then I was the least favorite to win. Walked through everybody. You know what I'm saying? Once I got to
Somebody you meant
then I breathed.
so once you got to a real pulse, you quit.
And then I beat Brian Vera. And then when I got to Golovkin, you gotta look at it like this. It's the A side and the B side of life. You feel what I'm saying? He's been on that A side most of his life. A lot of guys don't know what it's like to walk into another man's country, another man's backyard with everything against them. They say, oh, you have no knockouts. Well, I've been fighting guys at super middleweight when I was a junior middleweight, but I found a way to beat them. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, these guys, just, if he wants to say you quit, if Dominic Ingle wants to sit over there and talk, whatever it takes to get these guys in the ring Saturday, that's all I care about. If that gives them enough confidence to not sabotage the fight so it can go down, by all means, do everything. Because now I'm a smart individual. Like, this is the thing about being on the B side. And Artie could tell you, because we went into so many guys' backyards. I've seen the gamesmanship. The thing about being on the B side is you see the BS coming a mile away. So this doesn't shake me, it doesn't rattle me, it doesn't bother me. After I whoop his ass, I'm gonna be able to go home and say, hey, Gabriel, my son, I love you. Hey, daddy got a new belt. You know what I'm saying? I got a baby girl. Show you how God works. My wife's due date was the 12th. And I was mad because I wasn't going to be home. You know, I was kind of hurt. I wasn't going to be home for the birth of my daughter. We go to get on our flight Tuesday. They say, well, because of the weather coming up the East Coast, because of the hurricanes and everything, your flight is delayed until tomorrow. I believe Wednesday means I'll get here Thursday, so I got here almost a day and a half later. My baby girl pops up at 11:48 the next morning. See, God shows favor to obedient people. God shows favor to humble people. You guys have never seen me get up here. No matter who it is I fight, I never dishonor my opponent because I never want to let my guard down inside my mind thinking, oh, he's this, he's that, and I'm going to be able to walk over him. Feel what I'm saying? When you got to like belittle a man in your mind and you have all the odds in your favor, what does that say about you? If I was a quitter, I'd have quit a long time ago. If I was a quitter, after I lost to Golovkin, I wouldn't have came back and beat 2 top guys on a 4-week notice. They already called me on a 4-week notice. Would you like to fight John Thompson? John Thompson, no disrespect to London, was beating the crap out of Liam Smith before he stopped him.
John Thompson is a bum.
He was up on the wall.
He is a bum. He can't take a shot. Why didn't you stop him? I never know. I don't know. A light middleweight stopped him. And he went the distance with you and Liam Smith. Liam Smith's a very, very good fighter. Liam Smith dealt with him the way he should deal with him. He dealt with a bum how a bum should be dealt with, and I would deal with you how I should be dealing with you.
God bless you. I'm done talking, man.
Just one last one before you've actually said a lot, considering you started off saying you didn't want to say anything. You've given us quite a lot. But you did a good job, John.
Yeah. Just if you remember, yeah, this is. If I'm lying, right, all what you said there, if I was lying to you, or you didn't say you quit, then I'll make myself look idiot. But when it's on here,
this is my question. If you're such a good champion and such a great guy, and I'm such a bum in this, why are you getting in the best shape of your life, and you gotta get on TV and flex, and show everybody? Like if you was the best, you would be the best. You don't gotta talk.
What makes you confident that you
remember that?
What makes you confident?
Do you remember that? Do you remember how you felt? Do you remember how you felt in that fight?
Yeah.
Do you remember that win? Do you remember when that stopped? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
You remember?
I remember.
Do you remember that feeling you had just before you said, I'm done? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember that against?
Okay.
Watch this, you beat the count. You beat the count.
I think this guy is in love with me. Every time I look around, he's like looking at my pictures. He's trying to flex like me, putting on TikToks like me.
There you go.
Oh, I got a 6-pack now. Like, guys, I had a 6-pack since I was 6.
That ain't done you no good though, is it?
That means 12 weeks.
You've never been world champion. You've never been world champion. Well, listen, I'll tell you what gives me good confidence. It gives me good confidence to know where I've come from. I've been dragged up. I have been dragged up fighting. I don't know if you know what gypsies are.
Just got a 6-pack 3 weeks ago. Now he's happy.
We fight when we have to. We fight every day. I can fight every day of the week.
Okay.
Now, I have come from nothing
to where I come from now
by eating rubbish, by eating camp, blowing up.
Look at me, I finally got some. I'm blowing up to 15
Now,
stone.
you're so, now listen, now I mentioned you quit.
I mentioned you quit.
I'm alive.
No, it sounds like Kermit the Frog, don't it?
I've got him.
Kermit the Frog sounded like.
You know, yeah? You said you quit. Boxers don't quit. Boxers cannot say quit. If your trainer pulled you out, and I would have said, fair play. But
fair play.
You said to yourself, I'm done. When you admit to yourself you're done, you're done. So anybody that says they're done do not deserve to be world champion. You're in the wrong game. You should go back to the Michael Jackson dancing. You're a very good dancer.
Subconscious.
That's what you should do because that is no good whatsoever for our game. If ever a quitter won a world title, then boxing is a circus.
Oh
because
my God,
it's like
there's another joke.
McGregor was going to beat Mayweather. It's never going to happen.
You're
never going to beat me. So that's just the way it is. Until I know that you need your team around you. I know you need your team around you to make you feel comfortable. Willie, you can win this, Willie. You know, please listen. You can do this, Willie. And you believe it, but deep down, you know.
Everybody
you know deep down.
Doesn't understand.
I can look at you. You've come over in England. You broke down crying on TV.
Right,
do you know how embarrassing that is? You're like a kid. I've got 8-year-old kids. I've got 10-year-old. I've got 1-year-old. I've got 4 kids. None of them have broke down and cried. You broke down and cried because you got a little bit emotional. So how are you going to do when I'm on top of you, the best shape of my life, beating you down to the ground?
I should shut up right now because I look stupid.
Well, listen, all the talking's done. All the talking's done to everybody.
Maybe I should stop talking and wrap it up.
You will see the best of me come Saturday night. When he says I've gone away to get myself in shape, I've gone away because I know what's in front of me. I know I've got a multi-million-pound fight in front of me. You had that in front of you. You had that in front of you. You had all the belts in front of you. I'll tell you what you did do. You quit. So God wouldn't give you another
Maybe
job.
if I tell him he quit,
It's
he'll
my
not
time.
show up to the fight.
Listen, there's a queue in front of this door and
Mind
you're standing in
your
front of me. I'm
subconscious.
going to bitch slap you, move you out of the way and walk
Maybe
through
if
that
I
door
curse
and go
the
and get
crowd
what's
and
mine.
get on
That's
my
what's gonna
side.
happen. And that's going to be the end.
Yeah.
Now he can,
That'll
all of a
work,
sudden he's
right?
sitting there playing on his phone, but now when I say a few
I'm your
truths,
subconscious.
he's a different side of him's come out. A different side.
There's another
Look,
joke
licking his
that
lips.
didn't
Look,
go over.
licking his lips. Licking his lips, look.
I'm
Look,
your
look, look,
subconscious.
look, look at his fist.
Maybe
look,
if I
look,
talk
look.
about his fist
No, no,
and his
no, no,
lips,
no,
the
no,
crowd
no,
will get off the fact that I'm going to get beat.
Let one go in a minute.
Get your lips off
I'm
that
your
mic.
subconscious.
Get them lips off that mic.
I should stop talking.
Get them lips off that mic, you.
There's another joke that didn't go over.
Okay. Billy, can I just...
I'm your subconscious.
All right, okay. Let's
He's had his fun now. He's had his fun now.
let's leave it there for a moment. Just before, I'm going to ask for some questions from the floor in a minute, so you can probably help me wind them up even more. But before that, you know, we heard from Dominic about working with him. Just just looking at yourself rather than at him. How good has it been working with Dominic Ingle?
Listen, I've enjoyed every minute of it. It's been hard work. 14 weeks of hard slavery, to be honest. But he's very professional. He sort of reminds me of the old school trainers, but the 2017 mix into it, like the nutrition side and other things he adds to it. It's been a pleasure working.
Have you got the enjoyment back?
Most definitely, I've got the love back. Well, see, listen, what people need to understand is when you're down in the dumps, when you're down in boxing or in any fact of life, you've got to get yourself back up. But if I can do what I done, how down I was, and still defending my world title, how down I was, how much I didn't want to box, how much I actually had a meeting with Frank Warren and said to Frank Warren, Frank, I don't really want to fight no more. Frank, did I? Yeah. I said, I don't really want to fight no more. I said, that's the truth. I said, I've got a few quid, don't want to fight anymore. But because I wasn't getting what was coming to me, I wanted to test myself. I won everything. I've been to Olympic Games at 18. I won Southern Area, British, Commonwealth, European, International, WBO World title. I thought, I've done all that. I don't need the money. So I set back, I'll get involved somewhere else. But I know that I've got it what it takes. I know I've got this to beat Golovkin or Canelo. I know that I'm not done till I test myself. And if I get beat by a better man, you can do all the bullshit talking you want, but if you get beat by a better man, there's nothing you can do. I want to fight Golovkin and Canelo to test myself at the elite level. So when I'm older, there's no ifs, buts, would've. I'm doing it. And when I went to Sheffield, where it all started off for me in the Olympic Games, I got the hunger back, the desire back, everything. I absolutely love it. I don't stop watching boxing again now. I'm in love with it, but the main thing is with me, no matter what it is, there is never a quit in my body. There's never, ever, ever a quit in my body. And whoever watched my fight in December will know that, because I was literally, I wouldn't even call it camp what I had. I call it just turning up, making weight and having a little fiddle about and looking like a minge, to be honest with you. But apart from that, he's in for a big shot on the 16th because there's a new improved me. Listen, a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. And when you're happy and you're fit and you're in shape and everything's going well for you, then you're going to be a very, very hard man to beat, knowing what I've got in front of me as well. Once just walk through this door and I know what's coming.
Happier in yourself as well, aren't you?
I'm happier in myself.
You were down, weren't you?
Listen, I was down, but listen, it's a fact of life. I've got everything to look forward to, you know what I mean? I've got lovely children, I just had a new little baby girl born myself. So, you know, everything to look forward to. I've got everything in the world to look forward to, especially winning.
And who wins the fight in America?
I've been watching the fight with a keen eye. First of all, I thought Canelo because of Golovkin's last performance with Jacobs. But I've been watching him closely than anyone else, and I've watched Canelo a long time, and he just looks a little bit overdone. I mean, I think that grudge match he had last with the Mexican, his fellow Mexican Chavez, that was going on for years. That fight, and I think that took a lot of getting over. And once he just played with him, then the big fight Golovkin got made again, and I think he's just overdone it a little bit in training, so I'm just going to edge for Golovkin.
That's one for Golovkin, Willie. You've been in with Golovkin. What do you reckon? How do you think the American one's going to finish?
I think Canelo's going to win.
Why?
You know, if you watch my fight with Golovkin, you know what I mean, you'll see that the body shots start to slow Golovkin down just a tad. I think Hellbrook did pretty good with him, and then I think Danny Jacobs did real well with him. And he's 36, you know, and not to take anything away from him. I think I'm a fan of boxing just as well as a fighter myself. I'm just looking forward to a great fight, but who I think has the edge will be Canelo. I mean, he's coming up in weight. He doesn't have to lose as much weight. He's filling out as a middleweight. I think he has the style that it takes to beat Golovkin, but I think both of them are just truly amazing fighters, man, and hopefully, you know, after I win this title, I'll be able to get one of them. Hopefully, you know, my mind and my heart says I hope Golovkin wins so I can get back to him, but my pockets say I hope Canelo wins so I can get a bigger paycheck. So, but I think Canelo's going to win.
Okay, well you've heard my attempts to keep some sort of order between these two fellas, and you can sense that they certainly are not too much holding back from being wound up a bit. So your opportunity. Any questions from the floor, please?
Joe, do you entertain the possibility that two slick southpaws who like to move can cancel each other out in a fight?
Most definitely. We've seen it before when two southpaws box one another. But you know, I love boxing southpaws. My last 3 opponents have all been southpaws. So this would be the 4th southpaw I've boxed in a row. I boxed out at 86 amateur fights, and probably 40 of them were southpaws. So I know how to make that work in my favour. We know if you get a southpaw wants to wait, but I'm not planning on waiting around. He will have to work and have to fight from round 1. So he's going to have to fight either way.
Can we throw the same question to Willie about fighting southpaws?
I'm your subconscious.
My subconscious.
No, I mean, it could happen. I mean, you never know. Have to see. I'm just waiting to see, that's all. I really don't have a prediction.
Listen, right? With who you've been sparring last 6 weeks? Because I asked to spar with Zach Chile, I don't have any answer for me. Unfortunately, you changed your trainer, and I'm glad you have.
Sorry, was it?
I think he's asking you.
I'm glad you changed the trainer.
Yep.
Because I asked you 5 weeks ago to spar with my son.
Yep.
Because you were in the area of London.
Yep.
With who you've been sparring last 5 weeks? I want to see who you spar.
I was sparring Tyson Fury.
But it's dangerous for you if you fight someone lightweight and move.
Who's your son?
My son is Zach Chile.
How many fights has he had?
2 fights, 2 knockdown, 2 in hospital.
Okay, you think that's suitable sparring for a world title?
No problem, mate. You can spar with anyone. We spar with super heavyweight in London here.
Regard, it doesn't make a difference. It's not really.
I like him.
It's not really for the
Excuse me,
guy.
he spar with super heavyweight. How we deal with one?
He looks
He
very
moves like
dangerous.
featherweight and he hit like super heavyweight.
Yeah, but he looks very dangerous. He
And he's the wrong colour. The wrong colour as well.
My
The
friend,
wrong
don't want to
colour.
upset
He is
you.
because
You don't-
but he's expecting somebody a bit dark. Under the lights, you might not see him as well. With that guy, you'll be able to see him. The light will be bouncing off him, and it'll be a bit easy to hit. So
You've had no shortage of southpaw sparring, though.
no, we've got no
Give up for me
shortage.
the
so
microphone,
far.
no problem, mate. It's alright.
Anybody else?
So in the future, my friend, I'll help you out, yeah?
No future. My future is to.
That's all, is
Good
it?
man.
That's all, is it?
Stand up,
Okay,
stand
here we go,
up, stand up,
here we go.
brother.
Don't
Stand
stand
up,
up, stand up you.
stand up. Stand up. Do you want to stand up?
No, it's forget.
All right, no problem.
Question.
Billy Joe, how does it feel that England is not behind you?
How's it
That they
feeling?
call you an embarrassment
Yep,
to your country,
yep,
and that you carry yourself without dignity?
yep.
Who said that?
Let the man finish.
I have seen
Yeah.
tons of people in direct message saying, we are from England, we are from the UK,
Yep.
we are with Willie Monroe Jr.
Yep.
He's an embarrassment.
Yep.
Who the
fuck is that guy?
They don't like
I'm
Floyd
your
Mayweather either.
subconscious. Never
Let him finish, let the man finish, let the man finish, let the man
They don't like
finish.
your president, you idiot.
Overall is just saying that
It's a press conference.
there's
We'll have
people
questions.
in your own country that call you an embarrassment.
Yep.
How does that make you feel?
Damn good. Damn good. It makes me feel damn good, because I tell you what, most of the haters are going to become lovers, and you are as well one day, my friend, and stay off the pies. Because you can't get naked in front of a woman looking like that. I've got a good diet for you, you come to the Ingle gym. Matter of fact, we got the dingle gym.
Any more questions?
That's another joke that didn't go over.
Another joke that
Any more
didn't
questions?
go over. I knew subconscious.
Are we done?
I think so.
Okay. Well, there will be opportunities, I'm sure, to talk one-on-one with these guys who are here to explain what they think is going to happen on Saturday night. So if you've got your interviews still need doing, they'll be around for a little while. Photographers, perhaps a chance to get a snap now. They're well.
To buy Canelo versus Golovkin at $16.95, press box office on your Sky remote or visit BoxNation.com.